Hey Fit Fam, it is Coach Rye from Team FFLEX. Today we're going to dive into a huge announcement from the NPC and the IFBB Vice President Tyler Manion, telling us some really cool information about natural competitions that are coming in the NPC and the IFBB. So basically, we're just going to watch this video. I'm going to talk on it a little bit, go over some different points for you, and tell you what this means for you as a competitor moving forward and what it could mean for the entire future of bodybuilding. Definitely very exciting time. All right. So we're going to pop over to Tyler's Instagram here, T_Manion. You guys better be following him if you compete. He's the VP. He's putting out, great information, but especially the updates like this. And here it is. Let's take a look.
Hi, everyone. Tyler Manion here, NPC and IFBB Pro League Vice President. And today I'm here with some breaking news about our NPC natural competitions. This goes for our NPC USA athletes and our NPC worldwide athletes.
Okay, so to clarify that, because I know people get confused about this, there's NPC worldwide that takes place pretty much everywhere outside the States, and then there's the NPC that's here in the local regional United States. Those are the same thing. So basically what he's saying is that this is going to take place here, but it's also going to be worldwide. So really exciting. You're going to want to be keeping an eye on everything coming to your area of the natural events.
For our NPC USA athletes, we're going to have over 30 NPC natural contests here in the USA this year. These will all be qualifiers to our natural pro qualifier, which is the Ben Weider Championships in Virginia in November.
Okay, so a lot of people get confused about the qualifiers, pro qualifiers, everything. So what this means is there's going to be 30 natural events that if you go and you qualify, right, you basically place top 2, you win your class, so on and so forth. You are actually qualified to then go to a pro qualifier, which a pro qualifier means if you go win that qualifications for a pro card there, then you're going to be an IFBB pro. So realistically, the qualifications are still the same. You got to know the qualifications for each event because this is just one that they're talking about adding. We'll see here in a second. But basically, you got to understand that there's a difference between, your kind of regional qualifier where you're going to go and you be then qualified to go to a pro attempt and nationals, in other words, right? And then there's also that pro qualifier where if you win that, you get to become a pro.
We are planning on growing these opportunities even more going into 2025 and beyond. So here in the US, our goal is to about double that number of 30 for NPC natural contests.
That is huge, you guys. This is huge. NPC natural, this is a big deal that they're adding that. I mean, there's 30 now for this season. There's going to be an additional 30. That's going to be 60 natty comps coming up. And this is a big deal for natural bodybuilding. We'll talk a little bit more about this once we're through the video here.
So we'll be adding another natural pro qualifier in 2025. Earlier in the year.
So that's another attempt to turn pro. That's another place where you can grow. Once you've qualified, you can go compete there to try to get a pro card aside from just Ben Weider.
And the Ben Weider will be later in the year in November. For our NPC worldwide athletes, we're continuing to look at different countries and adding more natural competitions throughout the world. Now, what is really exciting will be we are adding more opportunities for these athletes that are winning their pro cards at these contests. In 2025, we want to add 10 to 15 IFBB Pro natural contests per division. Why this is important is because we are planning to add these in the US, in Canada, in Europe, and in Asia to make these qualifiers so the winner of these natural pro shows will qualify for the IFBB Pro Ben Weider Championships that are always held in November. Our IFBB Pro Natural Contest will qualify you and flow right into the IFBB Pro Ben Weider Championships in November. What is also going to make this so exciting is for most of our divisions, the winners of the IFBB Pro Ben Weider Contest qualify you for the Olympia. So you will still have an avenue to compete in these contests and one day make it to the Olympia stage. For information about our NPC USA Natural competitions, please make sure to go to NPCNewsOnline and look under the Natural Competitions tab to get our rules and our natural schedule for 2024. For our NPC Worldwide competitors, please make sure to go to ifbbpro.com, look under the NPC Worldwide section, under the Natural Contest section. again, to see the rules and the schedule for our NPC natural contests.
All right, cool, you guys. So that means not only adding NPC natural events, but also adding IFBB natural events that can get you all the way to an Olympia qualification, so on and so forth. So this is a really exciting thing, and that's why I want to pull this video up, show you guys, and break down some points, because literally every time that we get updates, I know there's a ton of questions people have. Hopefully that clears it up. If you have more questions about what specifically this stuff means, obviously check out the links. NPC News Online has all that information, but feel free to ask me too, and I can let you guys know, based on my understanding of the rules, what that means for you in specific situations, which is what this is all about at the end of the day, right? So really cool thing though, you guys, that we're seeing the expansion of natural in the NPC and the IFBB, all right? Like, I know it's notoriously thought in everybody's brain that to compete, you have to be on, PEDs of some sort, right? You hear the words. People don't even call them steroids anymore now. There's like just codes for every single different thing that people are using, whether it be SARMs, whether it be some other, supplements. I hear all the time people say they're on supplements. Well, now the NPC and the IFBB is giving you a clear message that not only can you compete naturally, you can also, do it in a very natural, specific course of competitions, basically all the way to Olympia. So for all the people that say, the judges always say that it's impossible to compete at these levels, right? People say this all the time. Judges never say that. I've heard all the time from Sandy Williamson. I've heard all the time from other top judges, Tyler even, that say yes, you definitely can compete naturally in things like bikini and wellness and so on and so forth. You can always do that. And obviously, guys, there are tons of natural people that are competing in the IFBB and in the NPC as it sits now. And I know that the comments are about to go and say, no, that's not true. That's not happening. It does happen. It happens all the time. On Team FFLEX, we coach natural competitors. They're competing all the time. They're competing all across the world and, doing well. So it is definitely absolutely possible to not only compete naturally, this is literally also a message from the judges, from the organization, from the NPC and the IFBB saying, hey, we hear what you're saying. We want to expand now into a whole arena for just natural competitors. So this is a really cool thing that is basically a clear message that yes, not only can you compete naturally, you can actually go all the way to Olympia with their chain of competitions that they're going to have moving forward here, adding another 30 NPC events and then adding some IFBB natural events and then moving on straight to, through Ben Weider into the Olympia. So very cool time. Obviously I'm a big supporter of natural bodybuilding. A lot of people on this channel tell me the things that I say about natural this and that are wrong. I get a lot of comments like that, but the truth of the matter is you can compete naturally and you can do very well. And there's a clear path now to do exactly that. There's always been the natural side of the NPC and the IFBB, but now this is a clear message and a clear, side. And what I really want to say about this too is this is important for all of you out there that, support natural bodybuilding in any sense, even if, maybe you do take PEDs or something like that, but you do still support this sport. It is good to support the natural side of this sport too. And to say, you know what, great, that's an awesome opportunity for those people that don't want to be on PEDs, they don't want to do steroids, they don't want to do compounds, they don't want to do whatever the hell it is out there. They want to compete though and say, okay, great, well, let's really expand this. Let's really focus on the natural side of things and try to get people more involved with that, because again, that is one of the big points that turn a lot of people off of ever joining this sport in the first place. Turns a lot of people off the idea they want to compete. Turns a lot of people off to think that they got to get on XYZ steroids, XYZ, PEDs, XYZ, anything. They got to do all that stuff. And a lot of people don't want to do that. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like a lot of people don't want to do a lot of variances of things with their body. Some people refuse to drink alcohol because they don't like the effects of that. There's going to be people that don't like the effects that, that could come with PEDs, steroids, anything like that. And obviously everyone's free to make their own choice. But what shouldn't be the stigma is that, yes, to be a wellness competitor, to be a bikini competitor, to compete, you have to be on steroids or you'll never be able to compete, right? Because if people have that stigma and that idea, then what happens is people just don't show up to events. People don't compete. That means, some woman out there looking that says, I want to be a bikini competitor, but I heard they're all on steroids, so I can't do this. Well, now that means that the sport doesn't grow. That means they never show up. That means they don't come to stage. That means that inevitably we all will suffer in that sense, right? Coaches, the organizations, the turnouts for athletes, the spectator numbers go down. around. And of course, less people going to shows, that means less shows happen. That means literally, virtually, the sport dies out eventually, right? And bodybuilding, you guys, is not the biggest it's ever been, in my opinion. Bodybuilding was much more prevalent and popular at other times. In a lot of ways, the world's the most unhealthy it's ever been right now. We have obesity as a huge issue that people face. We have all kinds of other health problems. Like, the last thing on most people's lists is being a competitor and getting into the bodybuilding world. But I think it should be, literally one of the first things on people's lists in general. And that's where we get this idea where we can say, okay, great. Well, now there's a path clear, and it's a message from, the organization to say that you can compete naturally. If you want to, you can come do these events, you can do these, and you can go all the way to Olympia, doing that. So very exciting, you guys. I think it's a really good thing. I hope that all of you will help, support this message, support the idea that this is what we want to be doing. We want to bring people to these events. We want to expand this. We want to continue to push this. This is a competitor sport, okay? The way that the judges do things, the way the criteria shifts, the way that, shows happen, the events they add, the ones they take away, all of that stems from the athletes that show up and what the message they bring is, right? Like, you hear this echoed all the time. If you've watched my channel a long time, you understand that, there's a wide variety of, we talk about placings, we talk about competitors, we talk about this and that. There's going to be a wide variety of how that works, but the tone of every event is dictated by who shows up, right? So if all of a sudden these natural events come out and we can get a high turnout of a lot of natural competitors going to them and doing everything and supporting this idea, and coaches that get on this bandwagon to support this as well, then it becomes a really powerful tool to not only enhance the whole sport of bodybuilding, but also just make everything better, a better experience for everyone, right? The more people competing, the better the sport becomes, the more fun it becomes for you, whether you choose to do the natural events or you don't. It is better overall for the entire industry if people compete and they continue to do that. And it's better, for the athletes, 100%, to be able to have opportunities like this. So I'm in full support of this. I'm really excited for this. Big shout out to the whole NPC and IFBB for really making a push in this direction. I think it's a very positive thing. And I think that this means the future of bodybuilding could look a lot different, right? There's definitely a maneuver here to try to focus on this a little bit more because of some of the stuff that's gone on over the years with, pushing certain divisions too far in the result of what athletes are bringing to stage. This happened with wellness a lot. This is like a separate video, but wellness division, when it started, it got pushed so far, so fast now, only a couple years later, that a lot of women don't even want to compete in wellness at this point. And I'm seeing every day more and more people saying, you know what, wellness just isn't what it looked like when 2020, when it hit. Now I think I want to actually go to bikini because that's a look that I like different. Or maybe I want to move to figure because, I'm just not liking the way wellness is turning out. And that's because, with every division, there's going to be that level of that push forward and, the over aggressive, like who's going to be the best. So, usually what comes with that a lot is over enhancements, overdoing steroids, overdoing other things. We talked about on this channel of people getting different injections, different, oils, all this kind of stuff that really eventually, if that continues to take place, that continues to happen, that pushes people again away from the sport, right? Like wellness pro shows have pretty low turnouts right now. I was just talking about this yesterday on our Quadcast podcast. We recorded the first episode, but wellness, pro shows are having less and less turnout right now than they were because, again, the division, it's forming in such a way where things can seem too extreme, and that turns people off. That means that first-time competitor never goes to stage, and that inevitably is bad for our sport, okay, ladies and gents? So, again, really excited about these natural events, really excited to hear that this is expanding, and I think it's going to be a really, really good thing for bodybuilding, not only because NPC and IFBB are great, they are, in my opinion, the best, the only place you should really consider competing federation-wise. Like, I'm not a big proponent of at all any of the natural division organizations outside of NPC and IFBB. So it's really great to see the expansion taking place here and this movement towards, okay, let's try to get the natural side here, really establish this more. And this is a clear message to all you out there that want to compete. You do not have to be on PEDs. You do not have to be on steroids. You do not have to do XYZ things, despite what anyone tells you, to be able to compete and be successful. What you do really need to do is always, be training smart, be eating the right way, and be optimizing everything every way. And, you know, a lot of people don't want to get on steroids. A lot of people don't want to do the PEDs. That's fine. You don't got to do it. This is a clear message, you know, from not only me, now from the NPC and the IFBB hopping on board saying that you can do this natural. And you know what? If you can and you haven't yet because you thought you couldn't, now you got a reason. So this really exciting time, you guys. I just want to pop that video up here. I want to know your thoughts. Tell me what you think down below. Is this a good expansion? Is this a good thought, a good idea? Do you like the way that, you know, NPC and IFBB is heading by bringing in more of the natural focus? Or do you think it really doesn't make much of a difference? People are still not going to show up at these events, and that's going to fizzle it back out. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Love your guys' thoughts. I love your ideas. Thank you for watching. Please make sure you're subscribed. Coach Rye is out.